to Dr. Bummy Able TV, where we inspire and inform you endlessly, with knowledge to guide, uplift, and grow. Thank you for joining, it's a journey, let's go. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game. From wisdom to insight, each video's a gift, helping you rise, giving your spirit a lift. So hit that subscribe, stay tuned to see all the great things on Dr. Bummy Able TV. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game.
You are welcome here. And welcome everyone. Thank you very much for joining in. Thank you to our guest for today, Queen Kumbi. Thank you very much for making it. We're still expecting Queen Kafilat, and hopefully she joins us soon. So thank you very much for being here. We are going to be talking about relationships, navigating intimacy and communication. Please write your questions in the chat and let's have an interaction. Okay, she is here, I think. I heard somebody knocking the door. Okay, so please write your chat, write your comments, whatever it is you've got questions about, and we have professionals. And when I say professionals, in their own right, because they've experienced it themselves and they know what they're talking about. So thank you very much. Okay, let me bring in Queen Kafilat. So you are welcome. Welcome, Queen Kafilat. Welcome, Queen Kumbi. Please, do you want to introduce yourself again, just in case people are maybe watching us for the very first time and wondering, okay, what is this about? And who are these people? And all of that. So, but before you introduce, if you haven't watched part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, please go ahead to the channel and watch. You'll find all the information you need there. So part 7 is more like a roundup of all we have been. Well, it's a different aspect, but from next week and upper week, we will be rounding up. We will be showing the highlights. We'll do a watch party of what we have been looking at together. And on the 10th talk, we will be doing exercises together. Hey, we can't wait. All right, so let's start off. Thank you very much, Queen Kafila. Don't worry, we've got you. I know you might be struggling with internet, but that's fine. First question, but before we ask the first question, can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, so my name is Adekunbi Ajayi, and I work in the educational sector. I'm a lecturer in the FA College. I am married with 2 adult children. I serve God in some capacity, and also I love reading. I remembered now, I've also written a book.
Yes.
And I think I enjoy my food. I love good company.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. And you can imagine, if you've been watching the series, you will know that she's an educator and she's going to be dishing out some educative content for us today. So get ready to learn, guys. All right. The first question is, how can menopause impact romantic relationships, especially around intimacy and emotional connection? Over to you, Queen Kumi.
Okay, so the very first thing that I want to say, and that is going to be helpful for as many people that are listening in or will listen later on at some point in time. Now, the things that I want to say, a huge portion of it, they are from my own personal experiences. Some of them will be from documented data, scientific knowledge. But again, I want to emphasize that we need to, what do we say, my area of work, we need to be selective in the use of information. We should apply the one that we feel will work best for us,
Yes.
considering the various circumstances, the various seasons, and various challenges and individuals that we are. So I'm back to the question: how can menopause impact relationship, especially around intimacy and emotional connection? And like I said, I want to try very hard to use my own personal experiences, because that is what I can lay claim to.
Mm.
So I have been married for a little over 29 years. And for most part of, did I say most part? For a huge chunk of that 29 years, when we say intimacy, I want to emphasize that we are talking about, at least that's the way I view it, we are talking about the sexual aspect of our relationship, particularly, specifically, as it relates to lovemaking. I prefer to say lovemaking than sexual intercourse, because that is what it is for me. So specifically, up until I'm in my 50s, up until the last 4 or 5 years, thereabouts, um, our intimacy has been top notch. So what that means is that, aside from the demands of work and the demands of some of the other things that we do, relative to some of our interests, there will never be a week that we don't make love at least 2, 3 times.
Mm.
A time came for myself. I discovered that, to start with, I became what some people will call, if we are from the southwest of Nigeria, a generator. You, you have to, we have this generator that you have
Mind
to
and wines.
whine and whine and whine. And naturally, I am not that kind of person. I respond to sexual stimulation. I don't need to be begged. I
Mm.
enjoy lovemaking, because my husband actually knows what he's doing. But
Mm.
some couple of years ago, I discovered that sometimes it's either I am tired, or I'm not even tired, I am not just interested, or we are even making love and it takes long, long, long time, and I'm still there. Sometimes I will tell my husband, just give it up, it's not going to work. Now, also, I discovered that my moods, sometimes one time I'm extremely happy, I'm giggly, and sometimes it's like I've just lost my cat.
Mm.
So, what did we do to rectify that? The first thing was that, as a couple, we had to actually sit down and understand what was going on. So my husband, and that's why I really wish for a lot of men to be part of this or to listen in. My husband knew that it's not that I was becoming a bad woman or the stereotypical woman that has aged and is no longer interested in lovemaking. He
Mm.
knew that this was another season of my life. And we discovered that, okay, what is wrong? I am tired. What did we do about the initial tiredness? To start with, I had to reorganize. I want to say it with a lot of carefulness and with a lot of humility. I'm slightly very busy. Sometimes 24 hours is not enough to do a lot of things. But we had to change some things about my routine. We had to develop um, new systems around my wifely duty, my career. There are times that, yes, my husband, when you have been married for some while, you will know when your husband desires you.
Yeah.
So he needed to give a little more. So if my husband, and if you love your wife, you will know what is happening. And anyway, for somebody like myself, I speak out. So my husband discovered that, one, there was that tiredness. The tiredness is both natural because of exertion and also because of the season that I was in. So what he did was that all of the things that would tire me out, he removed. Housework, having to do this, having to do that. he removed those ones. The ones that I could not remove, he reduced it. The ones that I could not reduce, we juggled around it. Two, my husband also discovered that it's not that I am old. He needed to learn my body anew and afresh. And I needed to communicate. Now we have a good space of communication, but because my body has undergone a lot of changes, inverted comma, open and close, I needed to communicate more. So the kind of things that will arouse me sexually before, you touch a button and I'm raring to go, it wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
So we had to learn my body all over again. We had to try new things. Also, I discovered that one of the reasons why we as women, when we are menopausal,
Mm.
we don't respond well to intimacy is also biological. And because this is beginning, maybe I should quickly put that forward. So there's something we call the SEA. That C has to flow in every marriage, particularly if one or both of the partners, the woman is menopausal or the man is andropausal. That's a story for another day. So the first S is serotonin, the E is endorphin, and the A is adrenaline. These three things are chemical messengers and hormones that, as you progress in age, their secretion in your body can reduce. So, and that also comes with menopause. So, serotonin helps you to sleep, helps you to have energy. Endorphin will give your mood a boost. It makes you to be happy, it makes you to be joyful, makes you to be excited. And adrenaline is what kicks into your blood that gives you the energy to do what you would not normally do. Now,
Mm.
because in our own home, we know that there is a nosedive of those messenger, chemical messengers. That's why, like I was saying last week, I wasn't sleeping very well. We had to be intentional about reintroducing it. So, to help that, we have to do reassessment, realignment, and readjustment.
Yeah.
So, from the kind of food that I eat, I had to help my body. That's number one. So I started taking food, more of those food that will help the secretion of those C in my body. I took a lot more of vegetables, particularly kale. I changed the kind of fish that I take,
Mm.
more fish that has omega H3. So salmon, egg, cod.
Mm.
I took a lot more of fruits, vegetables. And my husband, even though he has been doing that, he was intentional about making endorphin. Endorphin means endogenous opium
Mm.
that flows into your body and it makes you happy. So my husband knew the kind of things that would normally make me happy. So he would do that from the beginning of the day, more than ever before. And so by the time we get home at night, sometimes he's picking me up from the train station and we're driving to a nice place, or I'm complaining, oh, darling, can't you see that I'm not looking as nice as I look? Oh, there's a bit of flesh here. Oh, my neck is this. Oh, I'm having a bit of pot belly, and he's saying, oh, my darling, you look amazing. You are even finer than, and he's telling me specific things, areas of my body that can make me look at your leaves. I can't. And naturally, there's a flow of endorphins. So if at that time my husband decides, or I decide, because sometimes I decide too that, oh, I'm desirous of my husband, and we start making love, if something goes wrong with our lovemaking, I am not enjoying it, it's touching the right places, I am not feeling it, then I will open my mouth and I will tell him. And sometimes I have to admit, we could do everything we know how to do,
Mm.
and it will not work well. But after the lovemaking experience, we sit down together and that's why I'm saying reassessment. We
Yeah.
assess what has gone wrong. Sometimes I will have to admit, darling, It's not your fault. You have done everything. It's just that the generator was not working well this evening. And then sometimes we'll actually book another appointment. We'll say we'll try this again. So what I am saying is that intimacy and romance can
Yeah.
suffer a big backlash because of menopause.
Mhm.
But when we are intentional, we change our diet, change our lifestyle, we move around our schedule, we communicate effectively, we realign our desire, we assess our needs, we readjust our information, then I can tell you free of charge that our intimacy is still is top notch. Yes, it's not that every day is 100%, but we're in a good place. We are not on strike. We are not. I'm not forever saying I have a headache. If it doesn't work, we sit down, we discuss why it has not worked, and we do something about it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you. That was expository. Thank you very much. And actually, it leads to the next question. I know you've mentioned a bit about it, communication. What role does communication play in playing a strong relationship during, in maintaining, sorry, a strong relationship during menopause? Because we know there's so many breakdown of homes, not because it could not, well, let me not go there because there's so many things, factors like this. Communication is even if it's early, in early marriage, in middle marriage, in late marriage, whatever it is, communication is very essential. Not to talk of when there is a factor that could hinder the flow of the kind of relationship people have had when they got married and all of that. So what role does communication play in maintaining a strong relationship during menopause?
Okay, the problem that I find
Mm.
relative to this, there's almost no relationship program that you go to that they will not mention communication, even if it has nothing to do with menopause. Every marriage counselor, coach, they're always, but the problem that I find and what I have found to be useful in our own home is that when people say communication, they are just thinking about what he said.
Mm.
So when people say, oh, there has to be communication, so Ade could be asked to tell Olusegun that, oh, this is the way I am feeling. Oh, I am not feeling in the mood for sexual intercourse. Oh, this way you're touching me is not exciting me. But for us, what I have found to be useful is also what is not said.
Mm.
So communication can be verbal and non-verbal. So in our own home, my husband, I don't know, I think it should be like that for all married couples. There are
Yes.
times I'm thinking something, and the look on my face, it will actually tell me exactly what I am thinking. There are times when a woman is menopausal, sometimes because if care is not taken, the signs of menopause can give a big blow to your self-esteem if you're not around and about somebody that will really constantly affirm you. So there are things that you're feeling that you don't want to verbalize because it is also giving credence to what you're already feeling about yourself. So communication in this very amazing season of life should not only be verbal, it's also about active listening. So what is that woman not saying? It is not only about what we are saying. What are we not saying? Sometimes I'm cooking in the kitchen and I'm singing some songs. My husband immediately knows that that is a sign that something is not right on my inside. And I've not said anything. So he comes around and he gives me a hug and he says, don't be matter, stop what you are doing. What is going on there? And then I'm saying, oh, I'm fine. Now, non-verbal communication is that it doesn't take I am fine. It takes a look at my face, take a look at the angle of my shoulder, and it knows that this woman is not fine. And then we can have a sit down. Sometimes we are sitting down, I'm in the middle of just explaining something casual and I'm crying. It's not telling me that when did you become a baby like this? Why are you acting like a foolish woman? Is extreme. And that's the beauty of this season, because we can harness the problem for our own good. So is busy extreme. Why are you crying? Oh, I feel I'm always working. I feel this, I feel tired. And in sometimes, I'm not saying all of the times because I want to be careful what I am saying. Sometimes it is even in the middle of extreme my non-verbal cue that we have amazing lovemaking. So communication is not only listening to what that person is saying, it's also discovering what they are not saying. It's also looking at the way they are walking. It's also looking at the way they are talking. My husband usually, as a rule, he knows the tone of my voice when I'm happy. And it doesn't mean that I am shouting. He will just say, there's something abrasive. Sometimes I'm saying something really nice, and he's saying there's something abrasive. There's something abrasive, and he knows that if that is not taken care of, it could pose a problem in the night. So what we are saying is that we need to communicate on all levels. For some of us that we're people of faith, I need to quickly say that. Some of us, because we are Christians or Muslims, we take prayer as very important. In our own home, I can speak for myself. Sometimes we are in the middle of saying our prayers for the night. We want to close the day. Now, I have understood that my body sometimes just acts on its own. It is at that time that I desire my husband. That's the time I want lovemaking. My husband has come to understand that Jesus is not going to die if we pray later and we have amazing lovemaking. Now, we need to understand that also, because that's communication. If he had insisted that, as Christians, as let us, because I tell you honestly, sometimes the 5-10 minutes that we used to pray, desire has gone out of the window. I used to tell him, it's gone, it's done. So it is for us to actually communicate on all levels, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, even what we are not saying, we want to find out. And then you will see that as we navigate this season, it gets easier by the day. Not only easier, I tell you, even more beautiful.
Sure. Thank you very much. Thank you. Communication is a very important key in relationships, not just even in menopause, in every aspect. And there are verbal and non-verbal ways of communicating. So let's use our ways of communication to make our tell the story of what we are going through to our partners, rather than just like Queen Kumbi said, like a locomotive generator, and you're just trying and trying and trying, and the thing is not working. You're thinking what's happening. And I know there are so many ways people can help themselves, even if I'm not sure if that will be what Queen Kafilat will be talking to us about. But your question, Queen Kafilat, you're welcome. How can partners best support each other when one is experiencing menopause? So we've talked about communication as one way. What other ways can partners? Can you hear me? I don't think she can hear me. Queen Kafilat, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, she can't hear me. I think I'll have to call her. Okay, maybe we'll go to you. Sorry, I've put you on the spot, Queen Kumbi. Maybe we'll go to the next question and I'll call her. What are some specific challenges menopause poses to physical intimacy, and how can couples address them together?
Okay, like I was saying, I always prefer, because that's the safest principle, to use myself as an example. The first physical challenge that I have experienced, that is, that menopause can pose in terms of intimacy, lovemaking, is dryness, vagina dryness. So I remembered, I think
Thank
it
you.
was
Okay.
Okay.
I think she can hear us now. Can you hear us
Okay.
now? Queen Kafila, can you hear us now?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay. You take the next question. So
Okay,
over
I can hear you.
all right, thank you. So
Can you
carry
hear
on.
me?
Yes,
Yes,
we can.
Can I hear you?
Yes, we,
Can
we
you
can
hear
hear
me?
you. Yes, we can hear you.
yes. Thank you. Okay,
Should
over
I
Okay.
to
go
you.
on?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Should I go on?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so I was saying, I think it was 3 years ago. I remembered myself and my husband, we made love, and I was having extreme excruciating pain. At first, because of the nature of my work, I had, a foggy kind of knowledge of why that is. But because these things do not prepare you, one day it will just happen. It has never happened like that. I was telling my husband, this is, I'm, for heaven's sake, after 20 something years, I'm certainly not a virgin, but I was feeling so much pain. And after the experience, we sat down. What could be happening? And the two of us, we discussed. Oh, this is vagina dryness. What do we do? The first thing that we had to do was that, number one, we have to admit that it has come. We have been expecting it. Now it is here, and there should be no blame game, or just putting that other person aside, or being insensitive, or invalidating their feelings both ways. I was not putting the blame at my husband's doorstep by insinuating that, oh, maybe the foreplay was not okay, this, no, and it was not making it to look as if I have a disease. So what we did was that first we bought some kind of lubricant, and I need to emphasize that these things, for some people, I'm not saying for everybody, for some people is transient. So initially, just before we make love, we will need to use this lubricant. But after a while, I discovered, to start with, the dryness reduced after a while. And then I discovered a stress-free method. Try it and thank me later. I just I discovered that we didn't even need to be using all of this lubricant. Once we want to go to bed at night, maybe I know, either because I desire my husband, or I could see that my husband desires me.
Mm,
If I'm tired, if I'm not tired, I can take a shower. If I'm not tired, I will use water to wash my pubic region, my vaginal region. I tell you, it's the best lubricant. No traffic congestion at all.
what
The
a
the
picture.
the transportation will be very, very smooth and straightforward.
Mm,
Also, there are certain, for some women, because the hormonal imbalance that comes with menopause can just do crazy things with your body. There's the issue of constant tiredness. You know how I was saying to us about serotonin? It's secreted in the hypothalamus, and because you don't get enough sleep, you're tired. Before you move from here to here, you're just no. I'm talking debilitating kind of tiredness. So tired, it's like you can't do anything. For us, what we did about that was that, one, we we kind of looked at our, not mine, our schedule. I improved a little bit. I used to wake up really early. I mean, as in extremely early. I shifted that a bit to the front. And then the physical things around home, around some other things that we are involved in, my husband tried to reschedule them. And in places where we can use money to do some of those things, we did. In places where he can come in and help me to do those things. And then, like I kept on saying, the issue of diet and exercise is very key. One of the physical things that affect sexual intimacy, I don't know about other women, but the proverbial back pain that wins sexual intercourse. Oh, how seriously this. And I tell you, I don't know how easy it is for other people, but if you have back pain, it's worse than headache when you want to make love. It's, your back is just your
Mm.
back is just not cooperating.
Mm.
So again, I found that exercising helps with that, and also the way you pick things, the way you bend, and the way you stand up. Your courage, the way you walk. I am one of those people that wears heels. I still do, but also I improved on that. I always have a pair of flip flop. So if I don't have to walk on my heels, because again, I saw that was really affecting my back. And finally, I need to re-emphasize the issue of communication.
Yeah.
When I am physically tired and my husband desires me, the first thing I'm saying is that, darling, I am tired. Now, I need to say this with carefulness. There has never been industrial action in our own home. We never go on strike. It doesn't happen. It does not happen. But one of the reasons why it doesn't happen is the issue of communication. So if I am feeling tired, I am telling my husband I am tired. I'm not saying I'm not making love. I am saying that I am tired. Now, we could try for love making, or my husband will say, okay, we book another appointment. And we indeed, I'm dead serious. We actually book another appointment for our love making. So maybe tonight it didn't work. When, as we are saying, oh, maybe we should ship this. We are not. Then when we come back from church on Sunday, or when we come back from work on Wednesday, once we take dinner, we are going to make love. Good or bad, we are going to make love. And I tell you, the forward appointment releases endorphins, the feel good hormone, particularly if both the man and the woman, and my husband is sending some kind of messages, and I'm sending some kind of messages that is not for this media, but they
Mm.
allow the endorphins to flow. By the time you come back, on such days, I may not do any cooking, any work that will exert me. We might have gone out, or we might just take something light, and the second appointment will work. So again, we need to incorporate the right kind of food. Please,
Yeah.
please, we should do away with all of the garbage. Once you are menopausal, you don't have that luxury. We
Mm.
should incorporate exercise. We should make sure that we are communicating effectively, and we should admit that the season has changed. Because
Mm.
you can imagine when that first experience of um, that vaginal dryness happened. If we didn't admit it, it will stop our love making. I'm not going to make love if I'm going to be crying wolf anytime you are making love to me. But because we admitted something is wrong,
Yeah.
we took steps to do something about it, we are in a good place.
Sure. You're in a good place. In fact, it's so, I would say, expository, expository lecture. Thank you very much. Wow. It's yeah, I was that was what I was about talking about, the vaginal dryness. That is a common one too. And like you've just given a natural way of solving that. That is going to do a wash. Or if I don't know if I should say, if you can't do a wash, whatever it is, have a lubricant, and that would help. Okay, thank you very, so that will avoid friction um in that area. Thank you very much. Queen Kafilat is still not here. Oh no. The internet is playing up on us tonight again. But what else can we do? We will carry on. We'll carry on, and she'll answer her questions later. Can I ask you, do we want a break to drink water? Should we take a break? Because it seems you've been talking. Okay, so let's take just 1 minute break. And please, if you are there, type in the chat, write a comment, share to someone who needs to hear this information. Because hey, if you need to know, some marriages are actually breaking because of this. when there's a kind of friction in the sexual life, in the intimacy and relationship between couples, marriages break. And that's where you start hearing cheating and fornication and the adultery and all of those things. So let's help ourselves. Let's be our neighbor's keeper. Send this message to someone because we all need to hear it. So I'll go for 1 minute break while we'll take some water. Thank you.
Subscribe to like. Welcome to Dr. Bummy Able TV, where we inspire and inform you endlessly, with knowledge to guide, uplift, and grow. Thank you for joining, it's a journey, let's go. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game. From wisdom to insight, each video's a gift, helping you rise, giving your spirit a lift. So hit that subscribe, stay tuned to see all the great things on Dr. Bummy Able TV. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game. To all the new subscribers, welcome aboard. We're so glad you're here, there's so much in store. Returning friends, thank you once again. Together we'll learn and share the game. Dr. Bummy Able TV here for you. Inspire, educate, inform. That's what we do. Thanks for being part of this growing family. Let's keep shining together in unity.
Okay, you are welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Actually, I've been looking at the chat and Queen Kafilat, you're behind the scene. Okay, so the question to Queen Kafilat was, let me get the question. I think it was let me try to see if I can get the question here. So the question was how can partners best support each other when one is experiencing menopause? And she said, so she says, this is Queen Kafilat. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. So she says that couples can keep romance alive during menopause, even when symptoms like fatigue or mood swings make intimacy challenging, by exploring alternative ways to connect and show affection. And she goes on to say that this can include engaging in non-sexual activities that promote emotional closeness, such as cuddling, holding hands, or spending quality time together. And then she goes on to also say communication is key in experiencing feelings and desires, and partners can work together to find creative solutions to maintain intimacy, such as trying new activities or experimenting physical touches. So these are adult stuff. And I know those of us here, we are adults, and this is what we need to hear. You won't hear this anywhere else, I tell you. It is important for couples to be patient and understand with each other, and to prioritize emotional connections and mutual support in order to keep the romance alive during this challenging time. So yes, it is a challenging time, and we really need to support each other when I say each other, in the family unit, as husbands and wives. So thank you very much, Queen Kafilat, for that. Your next question, actually, Queen Kafilat, will be, let me go on to the next question. So yes, I will go on to Queen Kumbi, please. Could you help us answer this? Are there common misunderstandings about menopause that partners could be aware of to better support their loved ones?
I think there are a few. The first one is when there's a decline in the what we call the libido, the sexual desire of the woman. A lot of times, if it is not an understanding man, the man can begin to think that, oh, the wife is no longer interested in the marriage. I've helped her to train all of our children, and now the children are now grown. She's using me. Some other times, if there are people that are spiritually inclined, we may lay it at the doorsteps of
Of the
Satan,
in-laws.
devil, and we can say a number of things. Sometimes because the woman is trying the best she knows how to, but there's very little the man does that really excites her sexually. Then the man can begin to feel that maybe she's having an extramarital affair or an emotional affair. And the bottom line for me is that there has to be trust.
Yes.
It's very key. There has to be trust, and it is not the trust that you will build when menopause has come. It has to be a trust that is already prevalent in the relationship.
Mm.
For me, intimacy means intimacy.
Mm.
That's my own definition of intimacy, not only sexual. Intimacy means intimacy. So if you are intimate with me, you know me through and through. So, and I was saying to Dr. Abel a couple of weeks ago, it is now I understand why a 25-year-old, a 20-year-old marriage can break.
Mm.
And you're looking for the reason. You are thinking, why didn't it break in the 10th year or in the 5th year? Why is it breaking when? But you can imagine as a man, you have done everything you need to do for your wife.
Mm.
You have provided for the family. You have even helped her with cooking. You have commended her on her appearance. And you are having sexual intercourse with this woman. She's just like wood, or she's forever saying, "I'm tired." The man is saying, "You are tired, but what have you done? You said the children are not good. You said the housework is too much. I have sent somebody to clean the house and cook for you. Why are you tired?" So the bottom
As the
line,
nursery rhyme.
yes, and the most, and I have to say this on the behalf of men,
Mm.
is also the mood swings. You
Mm.
can imagine your wife is joyful, you have gone out, and the next minute she's barking like a dog for no reason. And then you're even trying to comfort her. I don't want to talk about it. Just leave me. Can you give me space? I just want some quiet. And the man is thinking, my wife has gone crazy. What have I done? Or sometimes you just call the man. I want to speak to you. The man is saying, okay, what is it this time? What have we done? So this common misunderstanding is something that needs. That's why before menopause comes, I
Mm.
was saying about intent,
Yes.
implication, and impact. We have to prepare for it. Because if we don't prepare for it and it comes upon us unawares, and
Mm.
all of these changes, your wife that is bubbly, happy, cheerful, full of energy, you ask your wife, "Oh, is it okay for you to get a glass of water?" She goes, "Please, I'm tired. I'm tired.
That's
Please,
it.
I don't even want anybody to disturb me now." And you're like, I think this woman has gone crazy. So then, then if you're a person of faith, you have prayed all manner of prayers, and instead of it getting better, she's getting worse. You want
Mm.
to go to church or mosque, she says, "Today, I am not good, I'm not in the mood." So the bottom line also is intimacy.
Mm.
You have to be able to understand. Number one, knowledge is key. Have a knowledge of what is going on. Know
Mm.
that that woman is not out of love with you. She's not having an emotional or whatsoever affair. Know that it's a season. Know that it will pass, particularly if you help her out. Sometimes you are helping her, she's refusing the help. I can speak for myself. They are helping you. Sometimes my husband will say, "Okay, you have done a lot of work, you are tired. Leave the place. Don't watch." I'm saying, and this place, menopause sometimes can make you hypersensitive. This whole house is dirty. I don't, you are just.
Mm.
So it's about us again being able to bear each other's burden. Trust has to be there. You must know that this woman still loves you. And you must know that your husband still cares for you. And finally, I want to quickly give us an experience where trust is very key. A couple of years ago, I had a family planning device that has outlived its usefulness, and I had it. I was supposed to. I wanted to take it out because obviously menopause has come. I didn't need family planning. But unknown to me, the device has already caused some problems on my inside. I had a raging infection. It was terrible. Now, when I went to the hospital, the gynecologist that saw me asked a question. He said, Madam, are you married? I said, Yes, I've been married for 26 years. He said, Is your husband with you? I said, Yes, my husband is with me. He said the kind of infection that I had, and that's where I'm coming, the kind of antibiotics they prescribed for me were the kind of antibiotics you prescribe for a woman that has STD. Now, the reason why I'm giving this example, imagine if there was no trust.
Mm.
And before that, I have been displaying all of this crazy behavior. So my husband would just say,
That's gone to the
now
brain
we
test.
know what is happening. She has been doing private practice. On top of that, she has brought an infection to our house. And there goes a
PP.
27-year-old man. So my imaginary private practice will have destroyed our home. So
Yeah.
we need to have trust.
Yeah.
We need to dialogue. That is the time that we need to love each other like crazy,
Yes.
bear with each other, ask for patience
Mm.
like never before, and know of a surety that the season will pass.
Yes. Thank you very much. The season will pass. You know, we've said so much about menopause is not an easy thing. Yeah, we're just saying it this way and laughing about it, but I mean, it has broken homes, until it's later in life they now begin to look at and say, but this person actually was not bad. Why did they can't really pinpoint the reason. But of course, it all stems from sexual insatisfaction and all of these things. So thank you very much for being open with us and being true and sharing your personal testimony. It's a testimony, I'll say, personal experience. Thank you. The next question is, what advice would you give to couples who are struggling to connect due to effect of menopause? Queen Kafila is going to answer that for us, and she has kindly put that on the screen, so we'll take it from the chat. What advice would you give to couples who are struggling to connect due to the effects of menopause? So I'll come to you, Queen Kumbi, about the last question, which will be question 8. That is on self care. But before the self care, let's see question 9 and 10. So if couples are struggling, she says, to connect due to effects of menopause, my advice will be to prioritize open and honest communication. It is important for both partners to express their feelings. Express their feelings. And she goes on to say that concerns and needs in a supportive and express their feelings, concerns, and needs in a supportive and understanding manner. Seeking professional help, such as couples therapy and counseling, can also provide a safe space to address issues and work towards solutions. To work towards solutions together. Additionally, exploring new ways to connect and maintain intimacy, such as trying different forms of physical affection or engaging in activities that bring joy and closeness, can help to strengthen the bond between partners. Remember that navigating menopause as a couple is a journey that requires patience, empathy, and mutual support. Yes, that is true. The menopause itself is a journey. It's a journey that everyone needs to be on board, the whole family actually, because that is where the children will be like, ah, mom is just snapping, mom is just snapping every point in time. Why? Or maybe they don't like me anymore, or maybe some children think they are adopted because of all those kind of things. So or maybe I was adopted because I don't understand why she's being nasty to me. So all those things we need to put at the family table. And I'll go to question 10 before Queen Kumbi talks to us about self-care. Let's go to the last question on question 10, which is let me bring that up. Question 10. Oh, it's not there. Sorry, so how can counseling or therapy help couples during their transition? How can counseling or therapy help couples during this transition? Because it's actually a journey, like Queen Kafila has just said. So number 10, the answer is here. Thank you very much, Queen Kafila, for walking behind the scene. Counseling or therapy can be highly beneficial for couples during the transition of menopause. A trained therapist can provide a safe and neutral space for partners to discuss their feelings. And that is true, because sometimes when people are discussing, they're not ready to actively listen. They're just bickering and not giving the other person the chance to talk. But in a guided discussion space, by a therapist or somebody who is a counselor in that area, it could help for all, to give them turns to talk, rather than one person just going like a locomotive and locomotor and just talking, the other one listening, not being able to talk. And so communication is about talking and and receiving an answer. So it's two-way. That's all I wanted to say. Now, it says a trained therapist can provide a safe and neutral space for partners to discuss their feelings, concerns, and challenges related to menopause. Therapy can help improve communication skills, enhance emotional connection, and strengthen the bond between partners. Yes. And the final thing she has said is therapists can also offer strategies and tools to navigate the changes that come with menopause, such as managing symptoms, addressing intimacy issues, and finding new ways to support each other. Okay. So overall, counseling or therapy can provide couples with the guidance and support needed to navigate this transition period and maintain a healthy and fulfilling relationship. So if you've tried, together, you see that there's no way, you're both hitting a wall, there's no way out. Try counseling, try therapy, and you might be surprised that it's actually menopause that could be responsible for it. Maybe the other one is not aware of the changes in the body of the other person, and so things begin to go pear-shaped. So please, let's communicate with your partner, your husband, your wife, your spouse. Thank you very much. And so we go on to the final question, because we can see our time. We're almost 1 hour. Finally, Queen Kumi, how important is self-care for the individual going through menopause in supporting their relationships?
Okay, the best way to just quickly put that together is to look at the word that you use, self-care. And we want to take the self there to explain what self-care can do to help to support the relationship. The first S is we should remember to smile. It's not the end of the world. It's not a disease. You are not terminally healed. Be able to laugh at yourself. Sometimes after my husband has tried all of the method in all of the intimacy book, the one we have learned ourselves, and this generator is still not working, we laugh. Just remember to smile. That's the S. The E is you need to exercise. You need to exercise. You need to be intentional about exercising. Your body is trying to tell you something. You need to listen to your body. You need to be intentional about giving your body what age and the hormonal changes is depriving it of. The L is you got to love. Love your husband, love yourself. You see, make a big deal about, oh, yes, I may have love handles here, and maybe my breast is not as pumpy as it, but come on, I love myself, I'm beautiful. Oh, I might have gained a little weight and I'm looking a bit stocky, but my husband still loves me and I love myself. I'm the most beautiful woman in the room. And F, just be fit. Be fit mentally, be fit emotionally. If you are a person of faith, be fit in terms of faith. I can say it free of charge. There was a time I saw that, oh, this way that my body was not responding to my husband is beginning to get, it was a source of concern to me. Then I prayed about it. I told God, my body, this generator has to function. So be mentally fit, be psychologically fit, be emotionally fit, and be, if you're a person of faith, be fit in terms of faith. And also, don't be foolish. That's also the F. Don't be foolish. If the two of you have tried everything to make it work and it's not working, please, F, don't be foolish. F, find help. Uh-huh.
Okay. Thank you very much. Find help. I just wanted to put out find help. Okay. Thank you very much. So please, let's not keep silent about it. Look for a trusted counselor or therapist. And, the Almighty is there. He has created that body. Go to Him and let Him revive that body, for you. So thank you very much for all of your time. And I don't know if anyone has a question. I can't see any questions yet, but thank you very much for watching. Thank you for sharing. Others who have not been here can rewatch. Next time we will actually be having, well, the 10th talk will be on exercise. So stay tuned. We're going to be exercising, looking at all the kind of exercises we can do um, to be fit during menopause. And but the last two, that means the talk 8 and talk 9, will be more of a watching the highlights of what we have said before, because not many people have gone to watch from talk 1 all the way to 7. So we want to bring in some highlights of what has been said by different guests on the show. So the next 2 is going to be a watch party. So please come on in and let's watch together. Somebody has also, okay, somebody's asking a question. JMK Babe A says, does fibroid reduce? Let me bring that up. It says, does fibroid reduce during menopause? What do you think? Does fibroid reduce during menopause?
As far as I'm aware, fibroids, they are excessively multiplying cells that we find in the womb, and menopause is completely attributable to hormonal changes. As far as I'm aware, I don't think it has a direct impact on the size of the fibroid. If somebody has fibroid, the best advice is to go to the hospital. Sometimes they can give medication, or they can advise a surgical removal of the fibroid. I don't think menopause will have a serious impact on the size of the fibroid.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. And if you've got any other answers to that, to the medical doctors who might be watching or behind the scene, please, you can type it in the chat, in the comments, and they will pick it up from there. So thank you very much for your time. It was a great pleasure having you here. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your presence. Thank you. So if there are no other questions, okay, yeah, she says thank you. So if there are no other questions, I will say have a good weekend, and I hope to see you. Oh, okay, yeah, another. And we hope to see you another time. Thank you. Have a lovely evening. Yeah, thank you. Joy says thank you. Let me put it on. So we have JMK Babe, we have Joy. Thank you very much. They're saying thank you to you for being for
Pleasure.
coming on the show. Thank you. So
Thank you.
have a good evening, and yes, please let's
Thank you.
satisfy our girls.
Yes,
Yes,
we should satisfy them
our own self as well. So it's two-way. God bless you and have a good evening. Thank
and
you.
have a lovely evening. Bye.
Bye bye.
Subscribe to like